ladies, have you ever went to the dealership with your man and you thinking like, oh, he a man, so he gonna know about cars. He gonna know how to wheel and deal. So I want to go with my man so I can get the best deal possible. Because I just had a conversation a few days ago with a friend of ours, and she was talking about how she was like, I had to do a lot of research before I went and bought my car because, I'm a single lady. And so, they like to take advantage of us. But then Jonathan got mad and he was like, well, they like to try to take advantage of us too.
True.
And he was like, it's the same on both ways. Like, you gotta know. But like, sometimes we have these schemas, I think, as like women in society, like, oh, but they're specifically targeting us because they think we don't know and they think that you guys know everything. But then when you kind of like get to like have more conversations with a diverse group of people, you realize like, oh, okay, maybe it isn't all this one way that I've been thinking.
But can I say this? I think this is the whole new different ball game. It is because your ethnicity, and as a black woman, you pay more than any other person in the United States. So when you say it, that people are trying to get over on me, and it's a blah 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 blah. Until this very moment, it didn't make. Even though we're talking about gender roles, now I understand why, because it is true that you guys will get taken advantage of. There are books and there are studies that show that you're going to get taken advantage of. So it makes sense of why you would want somebody to come along with you, because we are going to help you more, because even as we're going to pay less than what you're going to pay. So now that I'm thinking about the whole different thing and I'm thinking about it, it's understandable why. And we're not even thinking about that as the reason, but that is one of the reasons that you've witnessed that and you've experienced that, and black women have experienced that so much. That is why. Mm-hmm. And that is why that gender role, and that is why they're wanting us to come specifically, is because in the society, black women pay more for anything because they're going to have higher interest rates. They're going to pay more for the cars. And so that's why it's very good for you guys to have somebody with you, because that's what happens. And I don't know why, but studies, there's this book called Blink, and you read in this book called Blink, and it talks about the African-American woman. And it's just doing studies, buying houses. Those are all different things. And I'm saying it as an African-American man to you, like, oh, girl, we're the same. But you're paying more, so now it makes me understand. Because I would be like, my sister would be like, Jeffrey, you're the man. Go in there and talk to them. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think about it. Like, even though I knew, and I read the book maybe 3 weeks ago. Very good. A friend gave it to me. But it was because of the presidency and just like thinking about black women on their own and all this kind of stuff. But to think about that, now I understand this is why gender roles, specifically in car buying, specifically in buying things, specifically in meeting somebody who is negotiating some type of price thing, when black women are representing themselves, they have a harder time than any other race or any other person. So with that in mind, I got to talk about that gender role there. I can understand that is a given, unfortunately. But the gender role is about us cleaning up, and it's like what our parents give us. You know what I'm saying? It's also teaching us chivalry. Men, do this right here. Clean up behind yourselves, that type of thing. So a lot of men have gender roles that we think that when we come home, a girl should always be clean. We're thinking, oh, girls should always do this. We shouldn't have to tell a girl, you know what I'm saying? In our mind, girls are supposed to be so clean and so well put together.
I'm glad you said I shouldn't have to tell, because that is the one thing that I hear so common in people's thinking, that is like something that's like very distorted, that it will get you in like these conflicts with your partner, your friendships, whatever, because you're like, I shouldn't have to tell you this. It is so common that we like think in that headspace. I shouldn't have to tell you this. So I'm glad you point that out.
So yeah, because it's like, oh, we just think that because of our parents teaching us that, and we're like, oh, oh, my sister did it, or that's the way I was brought up, we're automatically thinking that everybody was brought up the same exact way. And that's another good thing to think about, because like when we're walking around and we're thinking, oh, everybody's the same. No, we're all different. So we're all brought up differently. And so it's a great thing to talk to your spouse or talk to your partner, like even gender roles in here. Imagine me as a fitness person and I have a husband and wife together. I immediately give the wife the easiest weights and give the husband the heaviest weights because of the genders. And then sometimes I have to tell myself, oh, Jeffrey, just give them both the same, because boom, there is nothing that she's going to lift that's going to be says women, and there's nothing that she's going to lift that says men. So if I can do both 25 and they can both lift to 25, let them lift to 25. However, I do want to challenge them to their biggest. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes the man's going to have a bigger weight because we have more muscle mass. But yeah.
But the key out of this is have those important conversations, because you never know what like your partner capabilities are, or what their specific needs may be, or where their strengths could be where you're weakened, or vice versa. Or maybe they would have
You're a weekend.
weakness.
Oh.
What'd you hear? Weekend?
Yeah.
What? Unless maybe I'm talking so fast here. Let's just still playing that laugh button. Turn that button off. But, you know, I want to take it to an even more important conversation. Your experiences at car dealerships. Okay, so we're going to cut right here because we're going to talk about your experiences at car dealerships.